Hi guys, it's John from Addicts with another camera comparison test between the Exynos 2100 and the Snapdragon 888. So we've finally got the June update on both of these phones. The Exynos version came out yesterday on the 21st and the Snapdragon the day before on the 20th of June. So it took a lot longer this year to actually come around, not quite sure why, but that's just how it is, I guess. Now I was going to record the screen so I could monitor the temperature of the phones as the camera was in use, but I did get a warning message on the Exynos saying that it could make the camera slow down, so I'm not going to bother doing that at all. I'll just read out the temperatures every now and again. So currently, for example, the Exynos is at 31 and the Snapdragon is at 32. Now the Exynos does have two SIM cards in, the Snapdragon does not, so it's just worth bearing that in mind. But we'll just do a few zoom tests and see how they both compare this month. So this is obviously at 1x zoom. If we go into 3x zoom now, now the camera versions are slightly different this month as well. I have checked and there's no update for the Snapdragon, but it is running version 08 at the end rather than 10 as the Exynos is doing. So it's interesting that the camera versions are different again this month. That happened in, I think it was February or March, but I'm not sure why that is. I have checked in the Galaxy store, obviously, and there's just no updates whatsoever for either. So let's go into 4x zoom. I'm just going to zoom into these bins here so we can see what the quality is like from a distance. Try and keep these as level as I can. Both phones are currently at 33 degrees as well. I'm going to 10x zoom now. Okay, so just looking off the screens themselves, I would say that the Exynos is currently sharper at 10x zoom. The text looks sharper to me, although it's still not too visible on the little sticker sign below the recycling bin title there, but let's go into 12x zoom now. So at 12x zoom. And I'd still say that the Exynos does look a bit sharper. It's a bit brighter if you look at the gold bands on that litter bin on the left. They look a bit more defined in the Exynos version. That's quite interesting. I'll just find another thing to zoom into here. So we have a look at this person standing on the bridge. Sure he won't mind being in the video. Now from a distance, I'd say that the Snapdragon looks a bit better on the posts, the wooden sort of handrails here of the bridge. Exynos is looking a bit blurry. So I think we found this last month that the Snapdragon seemed to be better at higher zoom levels with objects further away, with the Snapdragon, whereas the Exynos, was the other way around. Okay, so this signpost here, I would certainly say that looks better on the Snapdragon to me. It does look a bit sharper maybe on the Exynos. Back at 3x zoom now, and we're at 34 degrees on both phones. Try and zoom into these pigeons here, go back to 10x zoom. So again, at 10 times, I would say the Exynos looks better, it looks sharper compared to the Snapdragon. Colour reproduction, the grass on the Snapdragon looks a lot greener. I'd say that the Exynos is more true to life though, and I am going to go and check the swimming pool over here to see what the colours are like on that, because I know last time the reds looked quite a lot different depending on each phone. So I'm going to go into the ultra-wide now, just have a little walk around. I'm in a slightly different area at the moment because it is quite crowded with people in the other area. So the sky reproduction is more accurate on the Snapdragon at the moment in the ultra-wide. So if I switch to the main lens here, it does look very slightly darker blue on the Snapdragon. On the Exynos, apologies. So I'd say that the Snapdragon this month is better at reproducing the sky colours at least. We are up to 36 degrees now on both phones. Just do some zoom tests on this building. 3x zoom here. They look very similar at 3 times, but it's when we go to 10 times yeah, 10 times zoom here. Not a huge amount between them, although if we look at the bricks here of that chimney, slightly darker there on the Snapdragon. Yeah, I'd say the Exynos is better reproducing the colours here. It's not as dark as that in with my eye. Have a look at this scary face over here. I'll just switch to 12x zoom. So 12x zoom, it's a lot more smoothed out on the Exynos. More detail on the Snapdragon, you can see. But I will carry on now across to the pool. So I'll just switch the cameras over before I head over to the pool now, just so we can get a look at the front facing camera. Very little between them, I think, to be honest. sky maybe slightly lighter on the Exynos here. Into a bit of shade here. So interestingly, if we look at that building behind me, this sort of greenhouse style building, it looks a bit better on the Snapdragon. And we can see the details of that sort of side post. It's a lot more detailed on the Snapdragon, from what I can see. Okay, so I'm trying to get ideas to how different the red colour is here. And actually this month they're very similar. But it is a sort of faded purpley red colour here on the side of the building. Yeah, the Snapdragons look a lot closer to real life here, I'd say. There's quite a difference in red. So it's a lot redder on the Exynos than it is in real life. So that's worth bearing in mind. Let's have a look and see if we can get some close-ups of some ducks. Of course, you start swimming away as soon as I get here. This is just at 3 times zoom. Going to 10 times zoom now. There's almost like a little halo outline around Snapdragon on 10 times. We go to 12 times. Getting attacked there by the pigeons. So I've been recording for about 15 minutes or so. Both phones are now at 39 degrees. So on the left we still have the Exynos variant, and on the right we have the Snapdragon. So it is actually quite wet at the moment, it's raining, so I'm going to try and avoid getting any water on the lens if I can. But as we can see straight away, the Snapdragon's looking terrible. The sky itself is very grainy compared to the Exynos here, you can see there. So I'm just going to do some zoom tests from up here. We're going to zoom into our favourite shop here. This is 3x zoom. Going to go into 4x zoom here. Let's stay on this side of the shop here. So the colours actually look more realistic, I would say, on the Snapdragon. Don't forget the lights are slight tinted orange here, but certainly at 4x zoom it looks better on the Snapdragon colour wise. Let's try and get on this sign here. So now the 10x zoom just looks a lot better on the Exynos. As you can see, Snapdragon's looking very yellow, very unclear. Exynos does seem to be shaking a bit more though, with its stabilisation. Yeah, you can definitely see the difference there between the two. Isn't brilliant. It's very noisy on the Exynos, but it does look more true to life compared to the Snapdragon. Okay, one final zoom here into 12x. As we can see, both phones have pretty much given up. But we look at the quality difference on the Snapdragon there, it's much better compared to the Exynos. And move over to these bricks as well here on the side of this building. Here at 12x the Exynos looks more true to life colour wise. Snapdragon's looking a bit softer here. But overall a better picture, I would say. We do still have this sort of halo effect here on the zoom. I don't know if you can see that on that light there. This sort of white halo, almost digital outline there, which is I saw in the daytime videos too. Not very impressed with that really. Not sure where that's come from. Gonna just walk around here, get away from the noise a bit, test out the stabilisation. So this tree here, for example, the colours on the Exynos, look much better than the Snapdragon. Much more true to life. Snapdragon's looking very yellow, whereas the tree is definitely not a yellow tree. So that's quite an interesting one there. Do a bit of zooming here as well. Good 3x zoom. If it will let me. Okay, 3x zoom now on both. And again, the Exynos is looking much more true to life with its colours. Good 10x zoom here. Pretty poor on both, to be fair. I'm going to go back to 1x zoom now. In fact, we're going to go to the ultra-wide, see how that fares. I'm going to try not to get mugged while I'm walking around with these two phones, as obviously people have been out drinking and partying by the sound of it. See if we can get down to the graveyard without getting hit by a car. Oh. Probably not the best place to go to, is it, a graveyard, if you're trying not to get mugged, but it's reasonably safe in this town. So the quality now is just horrendous. Look at the Exynos is just a complete blur. The Snapdragon's got a bit of detail left, but okay, so we're still on the 0.5 times zoom here. Exynos looks pretty bad. Snapdragon's looking very noisy, but it is much more of a suitable image, I'd say. I can go back to the 1 times. Okay, I'm just going to test out the front camera now, see how it looks. In this area last time there was a bit of a difference in the sky and with this tree as well behind me. It looks really, really noisy on the Snapdragon. Quite a large difference there between the two. See some flickering there from the light as well. So the Exynos is definitely handling the front camera better. Okay, just going to switch back now. I'm still going to say that the Exynos looks like more realistic colour in the night. This bush, although it would be green, or a lot greener in the daylight, it is actually not as green as it's showing on the Snapdragon. Same with these flowers actually. They're looking a lot pinker on the Snapdragon than the Exynos, which isn't actually how it is under these current lights. Like I say, these lights are quite orange, so maybe the Snapdragon is trying to compensate for that. I'm not saying it looks bad, I'm just saying it's not true to life. So I hope you enjoyed this month's camera update video. As you can see, the night mode is still pretty bad on both. I think the day mode on both phones is more than usable though, however. When you start zooming in during the day, there are some differences between the two at 10 and 12 times zoom. Slight differences with the colour reproduction as well, but overall, very comparable. So what do you think about the June update? Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, do click on the subscribe button, as that really helps out as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.